Chris tells us that although Adam might not be sent back to Korea, he's still having a tough time, unable to hold a steady job because he's not a U.S. citizen. Immigration reform advocates note these type of deportations are actually rare. I talked about it with Gregory Chen, Director of Advocacy at the American Immigration Lawyers Association.
Well, specifically with parents who are here, issues of family members who don't currently have legal status. And that's exactly the reason why President Obama introduced the reforms he announced in November, because there are a lot of people who are here without legal status. And his deferred action programs for parents who have U.S. citizen children here or lawful resident children can't give anybody a green card. So there's no loophole that comes along with that. But what we're talking about is a temporary reprieve for somebody who's here that poses no threat to the public or to the community and is part of the community already. And the idea is they are not a priority to be deported, and we should make sure that there's some way that they can live and work here.
Part of the community, and when you say that, some of these kids were brought here at a very young age. People say they should just be sent back to Mexico, but they may not even have any kind of clear memory of Mexico. It just seems like the divide is so huge, and I know you're up on Capitol Hill all the time. I mean, how do you make sense of it all?
Well, that's exactly the issue that Americans have, I think, come to realize. And polling shows that 7 out of 10 Americans think those who are here who are unauthorized should be allowed to stay permanently. And the fact that Congress can't break the gridlock, can't break the partisanship, is really what is holding reform back. Ultimately, we need legislation to get long-term change, but the president's reforms from November will take an important step in at least providing temporary reprieve from enforcement against those particular families, the children, as well as the parents of U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents.
For people who aren't familiar with the United States, there's these 3 branches. There's the executive, the president, there's the legislative, and then, of course, the judicial. And now we find ourselves there. There's a court challenge about the president's immigration reform plans. If I'm a parent out there with a kid, or I'm a kid, or just anybody, how do I make sense of any of this? How do I find a path forward?
So my message to folks who are wondering if they might be eligible to apply for this program that is now, as you mentioned, stuck in the courts, is to take the long view. AILA's legal assessment of the president's reform, specifically the one being challenged, is that he has the legal authority to do what he did and the constitutional authority to do that. It's going to take some time to wind its way through courts, but ultimately, whatever court level it's at, the courts, I think, will find that he's done the right thing legally. And so in the meantime, those families should sit tight. They should try to gather documents, check with an attorney to see if they might qualify for this, but otherwise sit tight and wait and see.
You committed your life to this field. How frustrating is it to get close, or at least the sense that you're getting close, then the slippage, all the fighting? I mean, is it tough to get out of bed each day?
I have to admit it's a challenging kind of work, especially now that the parties are probably throwing barbs at each other more than they are reaching across with open hands. But I think it's going to be something that we really need to wait and see, and I think in a matter of weeks or months, there might be more opportunities for Democrats and Republicans to work together more amicably.
Glass half full.
Hopefully.
All right, Greg, thanks so much.
Thank you.